Hi, my name is Cara Lee, and I use she or they pronouns, and I'm really excited to be your math teacher this term. I'm making a welcome video here to show you how to get started. So let me get into the D2L class, and then I'll explain a little bit more about our modality and make sure that's the right fit for you. Okay, so I've already logged into my PCC, and in case you haven't gotten into D2L before, there's a computer icon in the upper right corner. There's another way if you scroll down on the left under quick links to D2L Brightspace login. So either one of those works. And D2L is called it's our learning management system. It's where all of our content is housed. And so you'll have a D2L shell for each class. Instructors might use them to varying degrees. So you should see a little box or square for each class that you're taking. So I'm going to click on our class Math 105, and this is our class homepage. So you'll see my picture here, my office hours, all my contact info on the right. And then before I jump too far into this, I want to explain the modality. So this is an in-person hybrid, and you probably have hybrids in other subjects as well, where it's part online and part in person. Or another subject might be part online and part on Zoom. So we meet for 3 hours a week, and normal, or not normal, but the other most Math 105 classes meet twice a week for a total of 5 hours. So it's a little over half of the time that we meet in person. And I want to make sure you know that it's the same amount of content and same amount of work in both classes. It's just the hybrid gives you a little more flexibility in doing part of your work online and only coming to campus once a week for our class. Okay, so just in case you signed up for it thinking it's less, that's not the case. It's actually a little bit more responsibility because you have more responsibility to complete the work outside of class, but then you also have the flexibility in your schedule. So that's kind of a balance there. And it's also great if you're used to taking online classes that are asynchronous, then this gives you a one weekly meeting that you wouldn't have in that class, that type of class. Okay, so please really think about your own learning style and whether that makes sense for you. It's great for a lot of people, but it's also not great for some people. So if you want help finding a different class, if you're like, well, actually that doesn't quite sound like the best fit for me, or after you watch these two videos and kind of get a better feel for how the class is structured, if you're like, that doesn't really fit for me, then feel free to reach out to me and I'll help you find a class that works better for you. Or even if it's on the first day, we can talk about it there too. Okay, so let me show you how our class is structured. The way it'll work is our lecture will all be on video. So you'll get to do that on your own time. You're going to buy the notes pages and then watch those, print the notes pages somewhere, and I'll give you more details about that. And then watch the videos, and that will be the part for the class that we're not having, right? Okay, so let me show you how to get started. So in the welcome announcement, you're going to see this video. I'm redoing these videos right here to update them for our class. And then there's also a video for My Open Math. Okay, this is from an older term, but it's all still relevant. So start here in this welcome announcement, which you probably already are here right now watching this video. And then I'm just going to give you an overview of the setup of the class here. So across the top, this is called the navigation bar or nav bar. And course home will take you back to this page right here. Content has all the content for our class, so we'll be using that a lot. Discussions will have an intro discussion, and then you can also use that for questions throughout the term. Assignments is a shortcut to get to any assignment, but the assignments will also be in each week as we go. This is a link to our My Open Math free online homework system. This is a link to our free online textbook. Zoom can get you to, if you want to come to my Zoom help hours, you're welcome to do that. You can also click down here. It might be easier just on our homepage. Grades will take you to all of your grades and your current grade. And class progress can show you just which things you've accessed and how far you've progressed through all the content. There's a little bit more. There's a class list if you want to email someone from our class. There's a help button that has D2L help, videos, student help desk, online tutoring, and some other accessibility and some other things. And of course, admin, you won't have that. That's just for instructors. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with content. That's where you'll be most of the time. And I'm going to go, in this week, this video, I'm going to go through the course information module. So that's our very first sort of module of just information about our class. In the next video, I'll go through the week 1 content so you can get a feel for a typical week. Okay, so first in content, you'll first come to this overview, and I want to share this quote by Dr. David Blackwell. So as a white person, I'm really working all the time to acknowledge my privilege and practice being an anti-racist. And so I want to raise voices of non-white mathematicians and statisticians, and this is Dr. David Blackwell. So you're welcome to read more about him, and there's a whole page about him in our textbook. Looks like I need to add that link here. So I'll let you read that, and then the very first, these are called modules on the left. So the very first one is Intro to D2L. So if you haven't used D2L, which is also called Desire to Learn, or D2L Brightspace or Brightspace, all those words refer to this system here. If you haven't used it before, there's some great videos and other information here. So feel free to check that out. If you've already used it a lot, you don't need to do that, but you're welcome to do that. This is optional. And this is the same or similar in every class. It's not made by the instructor, it's made by PCC. So then our actual class and content from me starts here with the Math 105 course information. And see, I've got a welcome message here. Mine might look slightly different because I'm in the instructor mode right now, so it might just look slightly different than yours. It does, but these things should all be the same. Instructor information. You can read a little bit more about me if you like, and I'll share a little bit on the first day. And then next, you can use these arrows to go to the next thing if you'd like. Or you can click up here and go back to the list. So sometimes I like to go back to the list and see where I am. Depends, whichever works better for you. So here's our syllabus, and I've also sent this to you in an email in a PDF form, but this is an HTML form in our class. So the main thing I want to focus on is that you belong here, and everyone belongs here, regardless of previous education background. I really enjoy working at PCC because of the diversity, and I like working with people who are different from me. And so this is my statement about that. And then the other statement that kind of summarizes my philosophy in this class is from a former student. And the student said, "The biggest thing I bring with me today is that who controls the numbers has a big say in what narrative is constructed with them. Knowledge and being able to share that knowledge is power, and I'm inspired by you to seek meaning in the numbers in ways I haven't before." So that is a big philosophy that I have, and I just want you to feel comfortable, confident, and empowered to use numbers, and whether it's statistics or financially, those are some of the topics we're going to cover. Most people find it really refreshing to have a class that uses real life applications, especially folks that haven't felt comfortable with algebra. So in the past, I think math has been really exclusionary, and it's been limited to algebra, which is really kind of centers people with abstract learning styles. And I think by expanding this class to these real-world topics and applications, it's really broadening what math is, and it's making it more accessible to people with other learning styles as well. So if you haven't felt successful in math in the past, I think you have a big opportunity in this class. Okay, there's also some resources for PCC for help with basic needs up there. And then I won't go through all this, I'll let you read it, but I'm just going to go through the basic sections here. We've got our course information, instructor information about me, communication guidelines. Here's all your materials. So it has our free online book link, which is also in the top nav bar. And it also has a supplement that we'll be using for this term. And then here is what you'll need when you're signing into My Open Math, the course ID and the enrollment key. Okay, a little more about materials. You can bring just any type of calculator you have, but you don't need to buy a special one for this class. Scientific is really what we need with the square root button. Here's more information about our course, course description, how it's a flipped class. So I mentioned a little bit before that the videos, the lectures are on video. So that's the part where you can do that outside of class. Everything's on video. You can pause it, slow it down, speed it up, rewatch it, all those great things. And you're going to write your notes using those videos. And then in class, because we only meet once a week, we're saving that time for the most important part, which is practice together. So instead of the lecture in class and then you go home and try to do that stuff by yourself, we're doing it the other way, which is called flipped. So you're watching the videos first, come to class, and we do the hardest parts in class, which is all the practice. And also some fun different activities and experiments and projects as well. Okay, so that's the idea of a flipped class. And the idea is lecture, you retain very little from lecture and a little more from reading and seeing and demonstrating, a little more from discussing, practice by doing, and teaching others. So in class, we're really focusing on that discussion, practice, and teaching others. And that is how most people learn and retain information. I learned so much by teaching, and so I want to extend that to you as well. Here's our class organization and weekly pattern. So our class meets on Tuesday. If you're seeing this in a different term, it might be a different day, but check your schedule. But in this term, it's a Tuesday. So before our Tuesday class, you're going to watch the videos and content and take notes on the notes pages, or also plain paper is fine, or the Word docs that are in our class as well. I'll show you where those are all located. Then on Tuesdays, we'll come to class, and some days we'll have a quiz, and so I'll show you that on the calendar, not every day, and not on the first day. So we will work on activities together to practice the material. So you'll bring your notes, and you'll be using them in class. So I'll check them off, then you'll be using them in class, okay? And I'll be showing you the solutions as you go through the activities, so you can always be checking your work, making sure you're doing it right. And then I'll post those online afterwards. Okay. If you do miss a class, if you're going to miss the first class, please let me know so that I don't drop you, because you can be dropped for non-attendance in the first week. I'll reach out to you first though. But if you miss a class, you would complete those activities and then upload them to get the points. Okay, throughout the week, you're going to attend my office hours, also called student help hours, tutoring, get any help, work with a study group, get any help as needed. And then the following Tuesday, by the end of the day, 11:59 p.m., is when the homework is due. So every week, that'll be My Open Math online homework, either one or two sections in My Open Math. And then on some weeks, we'll have a chapter assignment. That'll be when we finish a chapter, then you'll have a chapter assignment that's due that next week. I'll probably hand these out in advance though, so in case you want to work on, each part of the chapter as we go, you don't have to wait till the end to work on the chapter assignment. But I would do the My Open Math first before the chapter assignment, because this is where you get your practice and you get instant feedback. The chapter assignment is one that I grade, and then I give you detailed feedback. Okay, if you ever feel frustrated, lost, or isolated in the class, I've been there, believe me. So please contact me right away. I'm here to help you. I love to help, and use all your resources, whether it's online forums, discussion boards, and tutoring, myself, classmates. Use all your resources. Here's just a little bit about technology, student help desk. If you're ever having a technical issue, you're welcome to reach out to me, but I might not be, I might not have the skills to help you with it. And I might also sometimes can't see what you're seeing, but the help desk can log into D2L as a student. They can see what you're seeing. So there's a phone number and email. I think they have chat as well, so you can contact them there. Some accessibility information. And then here's a section on all the different types of learning activities and graded elements we have in our class. So just a little bit more about the video lecture notes, in-class activities, My Open Math, chapter assignments, quizzes. We'll have one project, exams, late work and makeup policy. So read through all that. Here's our grading criteria. So it shows all the points for each activity and the total points we'll have in the class. So you can see it's quite a lot. And the exams are not the main focus. They're just one part of our class. And you can see it's actually a fairly small part of our grade in case you're concerned about that. Grading scale, and then down here are all the PCC policies and general information. PCC is a sanctuary college, and we have a Title IX and non-discrimination statement. So inclusion and equity is really important to PCC. So if you're experiencing something other than that, you're always welcome to let me know, and especially if it's in our class, please let me know. I would like to help with that. If it's something else outside of class, you're welcome to let me know. You can also report it with a phone number or email. There's more information here on this website. And there's anonymous reporting. There are also some things, for example, gender-based discrimination, where if you talk to someone, they are required to report it. So I'm a mandatory reporter for that. I can direct you to people that are confidential, that would need to report that something happened but not use your name. So if you have come across anything like that, just ask me and I can tell you who the people are. I can direct you to someone who's a confidential person. Mostly counselors and in the resource centers, like Women's Resource Center, things like that. But I can help with that without you telling me the information. Hopefully nothing like that will happen. It's just in case. Then there's just general policies, student rights and responsibilities, academic integrity. It's very important to do your own work in college. So be sure to read about that. And that includes AI. AI is not good for math. So at least ChatGPT is not accurate for math. It's a word. It's based on writing and words. It doesn't do math. It doesn't know how to do math. So we'll talk more about that in class. It's really interesting to give it some math problems and see how it does it wrong. More about accessibility. If you have accommodations, I am absolutely happy to work with you. So please let me know. And I'd be happy to set up a private meeting with you. And privacy policies for the tools that we're using and more resources. There's a student life page, which is great. It has lots of resources and information for you. Also flexibility. If anything happens during the term, we might need to make some changes. Okay, so that's just a quick overview of the syllabus. You can read more, read through those other parts in more detail, but I don't want to make this video too long. The next item is our course calendar. And this is probably the page you'll use the most. And I'm going to print this page and bring it to class for you because it has that weekly pattern that I talked about in the syllabus. And then it also shows everything we're doing each week. And it shows you which weeks we have quizzes. This term we're going to have 4 quizzes roughly every other week, but then we'll have a midterm. So then, 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half of the class. It shows you the test days, and it just shows you what to do. So for example, we're in intro in week 1. Before our class, you'll be watching these intro videos in the D2L welcome announcement. Read through the course orientation, syllabus, and calendar. Watch those week 1 videos and bring your notes to class. If you're short on time, I would prioritize the week 1 videos and notes. You can go back and do the other stuff after that as well. Okay? And then this on the right column on the right shows you what is being turned in that week. So there's a little bit more on the first week because you've got to create your MyOpenMath account. We'll help people in class that haven't gotten that far yet. We'll help you. Upload a student info assignment. I'd like to learn more about you. And then this is private to me. Only I'll be reading the student info assignment. But in the discussion, you're introducing yourself to everyone in the class. And then we'll have 2 MyOpenMath sections, 1.6 and 1.7. Okay, so let me go back. Now I don't quite know where I am in the list, so I'm going to go back to the list, of all the items. Okay, so if you've never used the system before, treat it like a checklist. You go through, one thing on the left, and then you have all these things to do inside, and that's the recommended order, okay? Unless you find a better order works for you, that's okay, but this is the recommended order. So start with that. So we just looked over the course calendar. Then you suggested next is to go ahead and create your account in MyOpenMath, and this link takes you there. Then we have our student info assignment, and you have until the first Friday, so if you want to prioritize this after class, you're welcome to do that. Here's the instructions. Just helps me get to know you a little bit, what's important to you, and if there's anything that you want to share with me and anything that I can do to help you. Okay, so there's instructions for that, and then there's a student Q&A. So here's a place where you can ask questions, and you can also post anonymously, and that's a great thing. Okay, so that is our course intro or information module. A couple things more that I want to show you before we get to week 1. So after that, after our info module, we have some Word files. So if you prefer not to print, if you prefer to type instead of write by hand, here are all the Word docs that you can use. So you'll see it goes by section, and this is organized like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. I think it's roughly, it might get a little bit off, but it's close to that. And then if you prefer to print and handwrite, here are the pages for that. And so if we click on this, I'll show you what it looks like. I also emailed this to you as well. So it's 40 pages, so these are all the pages you need to print for the entire term in case you want to just do it one time. And you'll see that I'm writing on these exact pages in the videos. So this helps a lot. You don't have to write every single thing. You don't have to write all the questions or graphs or other, instructions. You can just fill in, concentrate on the notes and fill in and write what I'm writing. Or of course, you don't have to make it exactly the way I'm writing. I want you to make it useful for you. So you can see these are the pages that I'll be writing on in the notes. Okay. So a little bit more about that. Let's see, how do I get back? Use the back button to get out of there. Let me go back to the pages to print. Okay, so here's some notes above here for printing. I know that there's a cost to that. One thing is you can use the PCC libraries. You have a $10 printing allowance each term. So it kind of depends what different classes you have, how much printing do you need to do for each one. And I think it's 5 cents a page, so it's a good price. They may have updated that, I'm not sure. Another option is Multnomah County Libraries are still doing free printing. You go to the website right here and you upload the file and they'll print it for you. And you can print up to 100 pages a day. So you could print all this in one day. Some of the locations, especially around, actually a lot of them, they're doing a lot of construction. So they probably got a bond measure or something. Take a look at this map for which ones are closed, unless you know one near you is open. Just take a look. Some of them in sort of outer southeast and mid are closed, but I know Belmont, Woodstock, that's kind of mid southeast, mid to inner, those are open. And I don't know about Hollywood. So double check that map before you do that and see which one is closest to you or which one you might be going by at some point. Okay, so this is the file right here in case and then I also emailed that to you. So you could also print as you go if you prefer. If you have a printer at home, you can do on 1 week at a time. That's up to you. But you'll need that, or also you can write on plain paper. That is also fine. You just won't have all that information. So that's the drawback of that. Okay, so work on getting those pages, and then I'll show you in week 1 where the videos are. Last thing for this video, I want to go through the resources, and then in the next video, we'll go through a typical week in week 1. Okay, so you'll be scanning and you'll be scanning your assignments. You don't need to scan your notes, but you'll be scanning your assignments. So here's a way to get all your pages into one PDF file, and we'll talk about that in class. Here's the Q&A, just questions you can ask. You can get free Microsoft Office for students, so follow that link. Some helpful settings in D2L, PCC tutoring link, student resources link, remote counseling link. All of these services are included in your fees. Most of them are fee-based, so you're already paying for it. So please do take advantage of that. A little bit more on how to take, oh, actually, this was scanning up above, but this is how to take screenshots. If you're emailing me a question in the middle of the week and you're having some kind of challenge on the computer, it might be helpful just to take a little screenshot so then I can see what you're seeing. Okay, great. So that is our course information module, and then these few things below it. So I hope that helps you get started in the class. I'm really looking forward to meeting you. And then in the next video, I'm going to go through a typical week. So I would also watch that one before you come to class. But if you're short on time, skip right to the week 1 videos and take your notes and then bring that to class, okay? And of course, if someone doesn't do that before class, we're going to be generous and work with you because it's the first day of class and just because of always. Okay, great. I'll see you in the next video.